Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and in today's video we're going to take a look at my top tips for having a lunchtime interview. Many organizations and interviewers, they realize that they can have a closer connection with a candidate if they have an interview with a person in a more relaxed setting, such as during lunch. As a result, a lot of times these lunchtime interviews are becoming a little bit more popular. So if you find yourself being invited to interviews over lunch, then this video is for you. My number one tip, of course, like any other interview, is to make sure that you are prepared. Preparation is the key for interviewing. Now, this includes things like making sure that you dress for success, even if this is a lunchtime interview and maybe even a more casual type of a restaurant. It's still important to make sure that you are dressed appropriately for your interview. In addition, you want to make sure that you're doing all of those other wonderful preparation things that I've talked about in previous videos, which you can find right about here. But make sure that you do your research, and not just research on the organization, but also research on the restaurant where you're going to be having your interview. As part of this research, take a look at the menu so that you're more familiar with it, so that during the interview itself, you're not wasting a lot of time just trying to mull over what it is that you want to order. Also, make sure that you know where the restaurant is so that you're able to arrive early. When you do arrive, just wait at the front of the restaurant for the interviewer. This way, it just sort of avoids the awkwardness of, did they get a table, did they not get a table? And finally, you can do a Google image search for the interviewer so that you know what they look like when they arrive if you haven't already met them. Now, during the actual interview itself and when you're seated, a couple of things to really keep in mind there. One, of course, is just to make sure that you remember your manners. So making sure that you say please and thank you to the wait staff, no elbows on the table, all of that kind of typical proper dinner or lunchtime etiquette. But also when you're ordering your food, you should have already, as I mentioned earlier, taken a look through the menu and be somewhat familiar with it. But take your cues when ordering from the interviewer. So try to avoid ordering the most expensive meal on the menu. Even though the interviewer is going to be paying for this meal, you really don't want to look like you're being too greedy. Also, be mindful of the type of food that you're going to order, that it's not too cumbersome to sort of handle while you're trying to speak with the interviewer. So foods to avoid would include things like ribs or chicken wings and even spaghetti. In addition to that, even if the interviewer orders an alcoholic beverage like a glass of wine, I would strongly recommend avoiding alcoholic beverages while you're in the interview. It's always best to stay on your A game, and having alcohol may prevent you from being able to stay there. Finally, a lunchtime interview tends to be a lot less formal than, of course, the formal interview. So it's quite okay to have more informal dialogue with the interviewer. So you can ask the interviewer, why they chose that particular restaurant, or if they've been there before, what they might recommend from the menu. You could even have some other personal conversations. But keep in mind, just because it is more of an informal setting, it's not entirely informal. So make sure that you're still really mindful of your word choice and that you're still being respectful. At the end of the interview, the bill is going to come, and the expectation should be that the organization or the interviewer will pay for the meal. After all, they've invited you to the interview. So you can avoid the awkwardness of, going for your wallet or reaching to pay for the bill, because it really would not be the expectation. Now, finally, just like any other interview, after the interview is over, it is really important to follow up with a thank you letter. And you can even mention in the thank you letter something that you may have shared over, your meal, or how wonderful you thought the meal was, or the restaurant itself. It's a great way to add that personal touch to your thank you letter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you like this video, please do press like, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any video ideas, would like to collaborate, please feel free to contact me. I can be reached on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. And of course, for personalized advice, come on over to my website. I'd be happy to help. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy hunting.